done by Trust. The student beating the master there.
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive game. You know, he definitely. Oh, hold on a second. We're actually going to go on right into this new map, guys. We're going to Newkirk Precinct. All right, guys, let's get ready. This is game number 2. In the bottom right, in the red, he needs to win this game and the next. He is Zest. And his opponent in the lead, in the blue, he is Trust.
You know, Tasteless, if you squint at this mini-map and at the map name, it almost looks like New Gettysburg.
Oh my God.
Which has this amazing bridge.
This is one of these magic eyes. That's my favorite. That's my favorite bridge. Listen, I'm done with that map. I've already figured out for all commentators how to describe that map in the first 2.5 minutes. So
indeed.
It's on a casting level, it's been solved, guys.
The meta doesn't evolve anymore in that map for casting.
Okay, let's see how they play this time around. Trust did a very good job kind of steering Zest into, you know, a unit composition that just wasn't going to be beneficial. I don't know if we're going to see any aggression here. I feel like with the meta this fresh, the adjustments that have been made, and for how much is on the line, we should see, especially in best of threes, a little bit more conservative play.
Yeah, you would think so, and I feel like that's what Zest was kind of going for, but, you know, this is... We used to talk about this a lot in Heart of the Swarm, how the player that is just a little bit worse than the top player in PvP almost has the advantage. Because the top player is like, I want to play safe and kill you, but by playing safe, that inherently is unsafe, because a little risk pays off hugely.
Did you say that by playing safe, that inherently somehow is unsafe?
That is correct. That is what I said. I will defend that to the death. You can...
Guys,
put
someone
me in
put
arena,
that on his tombstone.
Put me in an arena with a trident and a net, and I will fight anyone over my statement.
After you've slayed all the nerds in the Gladiator arena with your net and trident by mostly turtling for 45 minutes,
that's how you play net and trident.
To the Emperor as you shout, just like in the movie Gladiator.
You tire them out with net and trident. You just keep putting the net on them and keeping them back with the trident, okay? You don't have to move that much. It's a smart turtling strategy. That's why it would be, those are my gladiator weapons. But seriously, like, the fact that Zest is trying to play safe because he knows he's better allows Trust to take, like, one little risk, and then it's like, oh, look at that. You don't have anything to counter this right now, and I can just kind of get a win off of this move.
It is true. You know, if you are going to try to play
apology
a solid,
accepted.
That's right. I'm the final caster gladiator that you had to slay. I only fought with the giant two-handed hammer, though, so I didn't quite have the right weaponry. But
you had a mask over your face for some reason.
That's
that guy
right.
always has
it
that.
Actually really obscured my vision. It was not a good gladiator weapon. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to be taking a solid route early on, you are open to some damage. But if you survive that initial offense that may or may not happen, then you're going to be in good shape later on.
Wow, 5 probes going down. Nice harassment right there from Trust.
Yeah, very impressive.
Sorry, from Zest.
Right, yeah.
Completely the opposite. I'm like, what? Is he about to get 2-0? That can't be. And he scouts that Oracle is on the way, so probably won't end up doing too much.
But really effective getting in there. That's not normal to lose that many probes early on.
Yeah.
Pretty much ever is unacceptable at this level of play.
It's super unacceptable.
So really good job there by Zest. Zest now backing up. Wants to make sure he doesn't overextend so he can recoup and possibly come in with even more damage later on.
Yeah, he's playing it very defensively right now, as he really should, going right up into the Robo, and I'm sure he'll add a Twilight soon. But for Trust, because he's going for Oracle,
ooh! Well, he
try.
Actually still is. Is he going to be able to get the second sentry? It looks like he wants to try to not lose any more units. This one should be cornered up here. Okay, he does get out, but that was a nice play. I like the force field there, but you know, sentries are just not that fast. It's very tough if they get out of position to actually escape.
Well, he ends up getting both the sentries, and actually a few probes as well. This Oracle doing a good job considering it was already scouted.
Yeah. So definitely balancing out some of that damage that was received early on. As long as this Oracle can get out in one piece, and it looks like it does, that can be used to counterattack later or continue to keep tabs on the opposing army, which is actually very important in PvP. You have to have your angling right, have the spellcasters in the right location, the archons in the right location. You have to know where your disruptors can go in to be safe. So that'll be handy for later on. Oh, and we just had a Warp Prism head over here.
Zest going out with the Warp Prism, but 2 Oracles hitting this natural, flying through a bunch of Stalkers, so they don't really get that much, and he loses one.
Kind of gutsy play there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this Warp Prism is going to go towards the main here where the Mothership Core is positioned.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe he can get a few more probes. Looking at the actual probe counts, Zest has just a slight lead there so far.
Okay, he's coming in now, doing some damage. Meanwhile, Adept's coming in over here towards the expansion of Zest.
Look at this. He continually is killing off all of the sentries.
He is so sick tactically with these Adepts and Oracles. That's really impressive. He's really gimping the whole tech here for his opponent.
Look at that. 10 probes, 4 sentries.
Wow.
Both of them actually dealing a lot of damage to each other so far, but the only scouting that Zest is actually getting is through this Warp Prism harassment. That part of the reason you get the sentries early is so that you can use hallucinated scouts to see what's going on, but if he just doesn't have the intel, it's quite hard to play against a Protoss.
It's interesting how much these guys have come out swinging at each other so early on, and it looks like it's not stopping. He's coming here now to note he went for the probes and initially not the sentries there. He does pick that up and get out with the Warp Prism. 2 very bruised Adepts. Now retreating up here in the north. It looks like Trust might be able to intercept this with his Phoenix, and there's not going to be much of an answer with Adepts alone in here.
Especially with the... Oh, look at this play.
This is just a
Cigar,
lose-lose.
use up your energy a little bit more. You just made him waste a little bit of energy off of that, but a kind of cool move. And this is a little bit opposite of the first game that we saw, where the Twilight with upgrades is quicker for Zest, so there is the possibility that he gets very aggressive with gateway units. Since his opponent has made things like Phoenixes, he's not going to have like quite the ground army, but looks like Zest instead going for a longer game, right into Disruptor tech.
Yeah. It's still both of them on 2 bases for the time being. Really powering up. I can't say I really blame either of them for staying on 2 bases for a little bit longer here because there has been so much back and forth action. Even on 2 bases, no side has been able to keep workers safe fully, or other sentries for that matter. And we're just now going to get the 3rd base up here first for Trust. I think there's a good chance that Zest is going to go ahead and expand with this, but he may try to use some kind of timing with Blink very close to finishing.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility here, and I'm looking at this, and the thing is, his opponent has Phoenixes, so to go into Disruptors right now, like, I almost feel like he should go into Colossus. I know that that sounds really weird, but there are some weird, like, mid-game Colossus plays that you can do against someone that has Phoenixes. He's not going to do it, and I'm not surprised he's not going to do it, but, like, the thing is, if he sees that you're going Disruptors, he just adds a few more Phoenixes, and the Disruptors cost more, and the Phoenixes counter them pretty hard.
Right.
Not like 100% counter, but it's like pretty hard counter.
Well, I mean, obviously the Phoenixes can hit air, but they're not like the anti-Colossus, you know what I'm saying?
No, certainly
they're not. Yeah. And it's at least something there that can kind of draw attention for the time being. So, 3rd bases are being acquired. We should be going into Super Late Game here. Thermalance also on the way.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, that's exactly what I was talking about. Because I thought it was weird he's going to Disruptors. Okay, he actually made a hallucinated Disruptor.
This is so cool.
The thing is, this might be even a tag that comes in. This is kind of funny. Yeah, and he sees that it's hallucinated. That is so funny. Oh my God! But
okay, well,
it was a brilliant move by Zest because Colossus is a good counter to Phoenix. Phoenixes do nothing against a Colossus-based army. They do a great job against a Disruptor-based army. So to go into Colossus and trying to hit a timing attack with like 3 Colossus, that would be amazingly good against what he's fighting against.
It's kind of funny because the fact that he went for a fake Disruptor and then it got tagged really gives an indication that the tech tree here for Zest's style of play is very important.
Yeah.
It almost would have been better if he didn't do that at all. I mean, I guess if you're going to try that at home, guys, definitely don't keep that with your main army because Oracles are tagging throughout the game here.
Yeah. If it was like a Phoenix that came in, that probably works perfectly and more Phoenix get made. If you're making Phoenix against a player making Colossus, you're just going to die.
Yeah.
So really, really cool mind games going on right here. Zest trying to outdo Trust in that regard. But we actually see Trust making Phoenixes, which I do have to say is really weird based on what he saw. Maybe he's not putting it all together. Like, I mean, in the heat of the game, it's a lot easier for us as
he's a much newer player. He might end up going into some kind of autopilot. That's not unheard of. Okay, and he's going to now see the Colossus over here. And this may, okay, yeah, I was going to say, definitely Trust should try backing up here, but Zest may be itching to attack pretty soon.
Huh. So, Zest here, this is going to be a second Colossus, right? What I want to see is a 3 Colossus timing attack, or possibly a 4. Like, that +2 attack would do wonders for him.
When there's enough Colossi to really obliterate everything that they touch on the ground.
Yeah, as long as your opponent didn't go like Tempest or Carrier, Colossi are brutal.
Hold up. We have, looks like Trust gearing up for an attack right over at this angle, and it looks like he's got the Phoenixes into a position. Is he going to come in and do enough damage? I'm still scratching my head, Artosis, about the Phoenixes here.
The Phoenixes...
Four Phoenixes seems like an odd number. I'm not sure. I guess he would ideally want to pick up the Immortal.
Yeah.
And anything else that he can, but the Immortal is probably the most important unit.
Really, that's the only thing they do.
It's odd because I didn't expect Trust to move out on the map.
Yeah, no.
When he basically had less than his opponent, I thought maybe he was going to do something fancy.
Army-wise, Zest is way ahead.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I guess he gets in here and sees what's going on. He can still do harassment. Like, the Phoenixes are not worthless, but in a battle, they're close to it right now. So we have to see where Trust actually ends up going. And the thing is, he's not making a single thing that counters Colossus. And there's enough things that do counter Colossus.
Zest on the move right now, coming up. The angle here for Trust, pretty good. Patience over here for Trust as he's now going to try to come in here at this angle. Now, let's see if Zest can get out of this. He's coming down right now.
Ooh, a great time warp goes down.
That's actually really nice.
These 3 Colossi starting to deal ridiculous amounts of damage to this army over here, just picking things off. Now, the Phoenix do come in, pick up a lot, but this is a lot of units in front of these Colossi, which are dealing insane damage.
The Immortals on the left are being pushed back right now. Now 2 more do go down, only 1 Immortal remaining, and that's going to be at Zest. He just did a lot better in that game, Artosis.
Yeah,
he really was on top of what he had to do. It was really odd when we saw Trust move out right outside of his base and then be like, oh, wait a minute. He was going for what we saw that he was going for all along, which was he had enough Colossi. Then he backs up. And yeah, I mean, as you were saying, when you get enough Colossi together, they can really start to win a fight for you on the ground. All those units bunched together are just going to take damage.
You have to have Disruptors or Tempests or Carriers to deal with Colossus. Otherwise, Colossus are still a top-tier unit in this matchup. And the thing is, you don't see them very often because it has to be a weird situation like this where your opponent is going Phoenixes in the mid-game to counter what they think is a lot of Disruptors. That's the perfect time to go Colossus. And the thing is, like, I guess it was a complicated position in a lot of ways to try to unravel while you're playing at 300 APM and trying to kill the guy who taught you how to play Protoss, but Trust absolutely got confused there and made the wrong choice on unit comp.
Well, Zest has redeemed himself, everybody. Now we're going to go into game number 3. This is going to be the